All right. Good morning. Every morning I try to show off a bit of art I got around my place, not, you know, as a. I don't know why I'm doing it really. I did it the first day, so I keep doing it. I mean, I think everybody should have art on their walls, um, something that touches you in some way. So, good morning. Thank you for coming back. Today is Beltane. Beltane is the last day of the Dark Occultists' season of sacrifice, and it is a sacrificial time where death by fire, particularly children's death by fire, is sought out and attempted by dark occultists to curry favor with their Dark Lord, whoever that may be, Satan, Moloch, Baphomet. I have separate thoughts about all of them and who they might be serving and all that, but it's just speculation and not for today. But today is indeed Beltane. So look out for some horrific fire somewhere, some terrible sacrificial death of children somewhere, which will bring us back around to Robert De Niro in just a second. Not back around because I guess I hadn't brought him up yet, unless you saw the teaser for today's video. But I wanted to say Beltane is also an inversion because Beltane originally was a Gaelic festival celebrating the beginning of summer and rebirth and fertility and all that sort of thing. So, as usual, you got dueling narratives here, and they're both occult. Right? You got like the dark occultists, and then you've got the more ambiguous to me occultists. I, you know, I know some witches watch my stuff because they've emailed to tell me they watch my stuff. So I feel like I need to reiterate I remain ambiguous and ambivalent about the presumably and perceptibly, as it seems to me, non dark occultists. The white witches, the nature Wiccans types, the Luciferians, the light Luciferians, according to Mark Passio. I so again, I don't know enough to say, but I will say, like, if you're pursuing anti-life stuff, then I'm not interested in what you have to say. Beyond for my own personal edification about this war in which we find ourselves. So there's that. So I saw that Robert De Niro is the latest Hollywood figure. Some are talents, some are celebrities. Robert De Niro is a talent. He's a very talented actor. Although I would say within a much more limited spectrum than most people will admit. I mean, if you look at the performance between, say, The Deer Hunter, which is his best performance, in my opinion, and Falling in Love with Meryl Streep. I mean, in one of them he's a magnet, in the other one he's just kind of there. He's not unconvincing in Falling in Love, but he's just not the same guy. I mean, it just doesn't have an in him. So anyway, although there have been people who have told me that Robert De Niro was never the same after Raging Bull, and that putting on all that weight and losing it, and an all-consuming pursuit of an Oscar inside the persona of Jake LaMotta damaged Robert De Niro permanently, and he became more I'm Robert De Niro than like I'm an actor. And I think that happens to a lot of people in Hollywood, frankly. They forget that they're actors or actresses and think that, they're bigger. And part of the reason I've tried to record this several times, And I keep stopping because I'm digressing, and every time I do it, I do a different digression. So here's a different digression, but actually, this is an insight to Hollywood and uh, uh, the perils of fame and how power is seen in Hollywood. Uh, Everybody wanted to be a movie star, and one of the unspoken ways that you were perceived as a movie star in Hollywood was if you could appear in a mediocre to bad movie and it would still turn a profit, where you were bigger than the movie itself. Uh, and I think that's why you would like see people become breakout stars and then get big paychecks and be in movies that are like terrible. And I think Eddie Murphy is one of those. I think Bruce Willis is one of those. I think Tom Cruise for a little while was one of those. Um, uh, uh, I'm talking more about that time when he was in that like bad spy movie with Cameron Diaz, not his more recent stuff with Oblivion and that other one, which were actually pretty good movies and didn't do that great. Uh, so uh, that's a Hollywood thing, so I've heard. Uh, so, but another Hollywood thing, far worse than agreeing to appear in terrible movies to show how they're bigger than the movie itself, uh, uh, is the trans children thing. I mean, so Robert De Niro's now got a trans child, a boy. He's a boy who's telling us he's a girl. Best I can tell, uh, he's not had his penis removed. So, um, uh, my personal feeling is if you don't have your penis removed, you're a guy. I mean, that's just it. I mean, if you're really so invested in this that you will have your penis removed and a faux vagina inserted instead, if you're going to go that far, fine. I'll give it to you. You're a woman. All right? Let's make that the deal. If you cut off your penis and have a fake vagina inserted instead, then okay, I'll call you a woman. She, her, you can have it. However, if you're walking around telling me that you're a woman and you still have a penis, then you are open as a target as far as I'm concerned, because what we're getting out of you is a performative fetish. All right? That's how I see this. If you keep your penis and tell me you're a woman and you want to go in a women's room and you want to wear your dress and you want to walk around with women and say you're a woman while you still have a penis, that is a performative fetish. And, while I realize everybody's got, maybe not everybody, but most people in our extremely sexually prioritized world, as well as growing up as children inside a highly sexualized society where all sorts of uh, kinky stuff. I didn't want to say, uh, I don't even remember the word that was in my head anymore. If I remember it, I'll bring it back to you. Deviant. Deviant was it. I'm not going to say like all these things that turn people on are deviant, but I will say that all of these things that turn people on are things that should be kept like to yourself. These are intimacies. They're called intimacies for a reason. So, if you have something that gets you sexually excited and, your partner is cool with it and no children are involved or animals, frankly, I'd rather you not be having sex with animals. That doesn't seem like a healthy thing. Um, who am I to say? And I'm not to say, because, I like everybody else. I've got, I mean, whatever. Who cares what turns me on, right? I mean, no, I don't care what turns you on. I frankly don't, unless you're a very attractive woman who's turned on by the same things I am. But uh, it's not your business, and um, to bring your fetishes into public and just be like, hey, no big deal. Yeah, it is a big deal. It is a big deal. You know, uh, Kevin Costner was in Baltimore when I was an ad guy shooting a movie. Um, and while he was there, I didn't see him, but he did say something very smart that got into the press. And it was like, everybody's got their public life, their private life, and their secret life. And your secret life should stay secret. Uh, and I think that's probably very good advice. Even your private life should stay secret, but your public life, your secret life should definitely stay secret. And it seems like these people want to bring their secret lives forward. And this is going on longer, but maybe this is interesting. So, Robert De Niro. Now, Robert De Niro's got another son who tells us now that he's a girl. And this follows in a long pattern of Hollywood people who have children almost always, almost universally, um, young boys who become, they tell us, girls. I would also look to how odd it is that a lot of these kids are black adopted kids or mixed race kids. Um, like it seems strange to me that Charlize Theron who's from South Africa, uh, which used to be known as an apartheid state where the whites ruled over the blacks. Charlize Theron, the South African, has adopted 3 black boys, all of who became, we're told, girls. Dress like girls, act like girls movies. That seems odd, right? Doesn't it seem odd? Like, what's this South African Charlize Theron really up to with all these black trans kids? I'd also turn to Madonna, who also has adopted black kids out of Africa, or maybe Haiti, some of them were. Again, I despise Madonna. I did like some of her songs, but I mean, I don't follow Madonna. I just follow patterns. And she too has black kids who have become boys to girls. Uh, the Hollywood thing is very much a boys to girls thing. You don't see too many girls to boys. You used to see more of it. Not like literal transgender stuff, but stuff like two-time Oscar-winning actress, I can't recall her name off the top of my head, but she was in Boys Don't Cry, which was about a girl trying to pass for a boy, based on a true story. And then she was the female boxer who has to be mercy killed by Clint Eastwood in that heartbreaking movie. That I also can't remember the name of off the top of my head, which is odd, I guess. But these are negative things, I do know that I try to push like negative arts out of my mind because it lingers and it doesn't, and it's not so, and it's supposed to linger. It's supposed to burn itself into your consciousness. And with that in mind, you might ask why so much entertainment is relentlessly negative. So where am I? 13 minutes, and I don't even know that I've made my key point. Hollywood. It's a town of occultists. They're telling you to your face. Hollywood was the premier number one choice for a magic wand. They use it in the Harry Potter books. Occultists gain power by showing you to your face what they're doing and you choosing not to recognize it or being too ignorant to recognize it. There was a very strong gay agenda out of Hollywood. It's obviously victorious. They run the town pretty much. You can tell simply by the content. And now they're pushing their victory. They've moved on from just the gay agenda now to this trans agenda. You see it. You should be able to see it. So you see it. do you recognize it? And if you recognize it, what are you going to do about it?